Okay, question B, we have a non-money. Okay, so it's y equals 2x squared plus 7x plus 8. Right. So we know that if we are going to complete this square, we have to have a monic. Okay, so we have to have a monic, so that means that what we are going to do, we are going to take 2 out. Okay, but then if you take 2 out, then you have to do 7 on 2 x, and then this is going to be 4. Okay, so this is exactly the same as this. Okay, so if you multiply 2 by x squared, obviously this is going to be 2x squared. If you multiply 2 by 7 on 2, these two cancel each other out, so you've got only 7, and then if you multiply 2 by 4, it's equal to 8. Okay, so these two expressions are exactly the same. The good thing is that what you have inside of this bracket, can you see that what you have inside of this bracket now is a monic? Can you see that? So we're going to do to this exactly what we did to the other one. Alright? Okay. So let's, but we need concentration. I'm going to put a big bracket in here, and then I'm going to complete this square for that one. And we're going to do exactly what we did before. So you need to pay attention to this. Okay, so when completing the square, so we open bracket and we put x. So you open bracket, put x, and then we divide the number in front of the x squared by 2. So if you divide 7 on 2 by 2, it's the same as if you multiply 7 on 2 by a half. So it's going to be 7 over 4. Okay, so this is going to be 7 over 4. And then square. And then we're going to add 4, but then we're going to take away the square of this. So what is the square of 7 over 4? 49, 15. Okay, and then we're going to close the bracket. All right? Now, do you understand what we did from here to here? Yes. I guess all what we did is just took the 2 out, and then complete the square for what we have inside of the big bracket. Oh my God. Okay, and this is how it is. Now, can you please simplify this? 4 minus 49 on 16. Can you please do that? So what's the answer? 4 minus 49 on 16? 15 over 15. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop there for a few seconds so you can see what we've done. Do you have any questions? Do you know how we went from this line to the second one? Yes. Do you know how we went from this to here? Yes? And then do you know how we went from here to here? Okay. And then we're going to multiply. Now we're going to remove the bracket, the big one. So we're going to have 2 bracket x plus 7 on 4. And then if you multiply 2 by 15 over 16, then it's going to be 15 on 8. That's it. Okay? And then from here we can find, the vertex and axial symmetry. Now, can you see that we have an extra 2 at the front? Can you see that? Okay. So that 2 is the dilation. So that's all what it does. Okay. So if I do this, and then if I do this, well, one is going to be flatter than the other. That's all what it does. Okay. So you got to remember, in front of that number is just the dilation factor. That's all what it is. Yes. Show you. All right. Okay, and then we are ready. So we're going to say that the vertex is at the point where?
7 over 4.
Negative 7 over 4. Okay, so if you do this in mixed numeral, so it's going to be 1 3/4. And if you put this is going to be, what is that? 1 7/8. Okay, so that is where the vertex is. Okay, so we got the vertex done. Okay, and then we have the axial symmetry. Okay, so the axial symmetry is simply the x value from the vertex, so it's going to be negative 1 3/4. And then we need to do the y-intercept. Y-intercept. And to do the y-intercept back to the original equation, so you know that this is going to be the y-intercept. So it's going to be y equal 8. And then the x-intercept. All right. Now, again, you need to pay special attention because we need to do the x-intercept, and you see that in this case, there's parabola 1 across the x-axis. Okay, but let's do it. So x-intercept. So you make y equals 0, as we know. Okay, let's see. So we have to make all this equal to 0, right? You can also find the x-intercept by solving, this equation. So you put that equal to 0, and then use the quadratic formula. So it's the same thing. Okay, but given that we are in here like this, so we just can't do that. Okay, so if you do 2x plus 7 over 4 square plus 16 on 8 equals 0, you can see that we're going to have a problem, because that's from the moment that you move this across, then this becomes negative. Can you see that? Okay, and then we cannot find the square root of a negative number. So let's do this. So it's 15 on 8. And then the logical thing to do is to divide by 2. So we're going to have x plus 7 on 4 square. When you divide by 2, it's like multiplied by a half, so it's going to be negative 15 on 9. So far, so good. Okay, so all what I did is just divide this by 2. 19. It's been a long day. Okay, but then when you do the square root is when we have problem. Okay, so x plus 7 on 4 is equal to plus or minus, and then is where the problem occurs. All right. And then we're going to say, therefore, the parabola as in cross the x-axis. Yes.
So we can just tell that from the vertex.
That's correct. Yeah. So you can see exactly what you're saying is good. So you can check the vertex, and you can see that the vertex is going to be above the x-axis. Can you see that? So you can spot that right there. Yes. If in test you made that point, I was going to give you the full mark anyway. Okay, so all right. Okay, and then the next one is just to graph it. Okay, so we're going to graph that.
Every time, if it's like the number out of the square root, I mean the square is positive, does that mean it's not going to touch the x-axis? Like if you go up one line, yeah, that one. So if that's always a positive, does that mean it won't touch?
Yeah, because you're going to take that number to the other side. Or just do what Ethan said. Just look at the y value from the vertex. If the y value from the vertex is positive, you know that the parabola is about the x-axis, so it doesn't cross. All right? Yeah. But you got to be careful, because if the parabola is upside down, it's exactly the opposite. Okay? Yeah. So if it is concave down, then this number. All right. Okay. All right. So we're going to do the picture for this. All right. So we need the axial symmetry is going to be at that. So this is part 1. Pay attention, because you're going to be doing the same for question E. All right, the axial symmetry is at -1 3/4. Okay, so we're going to just approximate. This is 1 and 2. Now you can see that in here we're going by across, we're going up by 1, but at work we're going up by 2. You can do that. Okay, so we can scale this different to that one, as long as you go by the same unit. Okay, make sure that you equally space. Okay, and then so let's do the axial symmetry. So the axial symmetry is at -1 3/4. So it's going to be probably somewhere here. This is x equals -1 3/4. So that is where the axial symmetry is. And the vector is at -1 3/4 and 1 7/8. So it's going to be probably, I don't know, somewhere here. So we need to just approximate. Okay. And the y-intercept is 8. Okay, so we will never have problem when dealing with parabola with the y-axis. It will always cap the y-axis, no matter what. Okay? Okay, and then we'll do the picture in the best possible way. Alright, so it's going to look something like that. Okay, now you're going to do the same with question E. Alright. Yeah.
So if the number on the end is 0, it isn't a parabola?
Sorry, say it again.
So if the number on the end is 0, it isn't a parabola?
So if that number...
The number on the end is 0, it isn't a parabola?
It's still a parabola, but...
it wouldn't cross the y-axis then. Oh, I know, cross it,
Yeah. That's it. It's passing through the vertex. Yeah. The origin. All right. Okay. Can you please do question E? Okay.